Okay, how do you do the intro? I haven't been paying attention.
Just do your own intro, it's fine.
I can't remember.
It's a
how
new
you
show.
do
This
it.
hasn't been done before.
Yeah, this is a brand new bonus episode that will become Patreon content after this episode.
By definition, you can't get this bit wrong. It's just that you do have to then do it again next time we do this.
I can do it wrong, and I will do it wrong because I've completely forgotten how we do any intro.
Hello and welcome.
That's it.
Yeah.
That's the phrase. Okay. Dan, don't you dare fog this up for me.
I mean, you deserve it.
No, I do, 100%. Hello and welcome to this boneless episode. We don't have a proper name for it yet. We think we're going with sequel replacement. I don't know. The idea is that we're taking a film, normally not this, in this case, a fucking dreadful one, a sequel that was fucking dreadful. We're using AI to... We put it in AI and asked it to make a sequel for The Boy to see if it's the AI could spit out a good one. It didn't.
See if it's better.
So we're going to talk about it. I'm Michael.
I'm Dan. Is Helena here?
Is she disconnected?
I'm here.
Oh, now you're back. Okay,
I
yeah,
was just laughing because the pause was so pregnant.
you cut
That was
out
a-
again, and I didn't know who was going to say the name first.
I hadn't said anything.
Oh, okay.
I didn't cut out. I was just waiting for you to go, I'm Daniel, because you always go before me.
Oh, no,
Like,
they-
literally always.
No, then you cut out. So that
Yeah,
there was just an
you
even
cut out.
longer pause.
I'm Helena, by the way.
Okay. We watched The Boy 2.
Yeah, we watched that recently.
Sorry, Brahms The Boy 2
Brahms
for some
the Boy
fucking
Part 2.
reason.
Brahms is back in town. Yeah, as you might remember, I went on to the Scaredy Boys podcast when we talked about The Boy, because I was like, I kind of enjoy this, even if it is shit.
The Boy is a bad film.
And then we decided, it was like a couple of weeks ago now, the three of us decided to watch the sequel together, and it was awful. It takes everything vaguely interesting about the first one and makes it completely irrelevant.
Yeah.
It is rare. It's rare that a sequel is good, but it's also somehow rare that a sequel is so self-sabotaging that it really invalidates the entire premise of the first movie.
Exactly. The whole point of the first one is it's not a haunted doll. There's a fucking psychopath living in the walls of the house.
There's a very hot man living in the walls.
He's a wide beefcake in a sweater with a terrifying voice.
Yeah.
But then the
100%.
actual sequel decides, actually, no, the doll is haunted, and that's what made him do that, and it's made other people do things before too. And I was like, wow, this is the worst sequel I've ever seen.
Everything. It kills everything just to be like...
And he turns into a little meat boy. Meat grows in the doll, and then they smash his face. There's meat underneath, and it's just
He's got a butt
Weird.
mouth.
It's not even like this was made by someone completely different and they just put their own spin on it. It was the same fucking guy that made it as the first one.
I also don't believe that The Boy made enough money to warrant a sequel.
Definitely not.
Definitely.
Horror movies don't need sequels most of the
A
time.
lot of films don't
So
need
if we were
sequels.
asking me, instead of AI to do a sequel, I would have gone with, instead of The Boy to Brahms, Electric Boogaloo, or whatever they went with, I'd have gone The Girl and on Spooky Girl, because Spooky Girl doll, already been done, tried and tested.
Yeah, that's
We
true.
know it works. Girl doll's also very scary.
Annabelle,
How do you
creepy
tie that?
bitch.
How do you tie that in? How do you tie that in as fucking...
Oh, well, it turns out
No,
that the twist
no.
is there's just a hot girl living in the walls.
Never heard about... I've never heard anyone refer to Annabelle as creepy bitch. And that just threw me. That just reset my brain for a second.
Maybe it's about, that he kills this little girl.
Bitch.
Oh, she's not really dead. She's a
She's not
doll.
really dead. Is she living in the walls with him without him knowing the entire time of the first one?
The walls have extra layers.
Yeah,
She's living in the basement.
In the walls.
She's living in the basement. He's got a little doll of that girl.
Yeah. I think he does. Oh no, he makes one out of Greta's,
he makes a
like, hair
weird
or something.
sex mannequin out of
Yeah.
the babysitter's hair.
Yeah.
The boy is not a good film.
No, it's not. It's
I just
a bad
found
film.
part of the premise a bit interesting, and that
then
was
you spent
about it.
ages trying to defend it.
Yeah, I've managed to worm my way onto a much better podcast to talk
Hey,
about it.
I think
and
I
then
might
be like,
go...
I'm sorry.
It's not-
Yeah,
it's
you
not a good
really,
film.
they haven't invited either me or Mikey on the podcast.
We're too hostile. We're too hostile when it comes to...
To be fair, I was quite mean.
I mean, I
Yes.
won't lie, I did actually message Damo and be like, hey, we watched The Boy 2, don't bother, it's shit.
They're soft, friendly boys. We're very hostile when it comes to films. We just have a different vibe. We just have a different vibe. The only way I can think about getting the boy to the girl.
That sounds like a really shit rom-com.
Yeah, the boy,
to the girl. I mean,
the
it
girl.
sounds a bit like maybe it'd be about transitioning or something.
Maybe.
But from
I
a
mean,
China
that's-
boy psychopath to a China girl faced
What a
psychopath.
twist for Brahms, though.
Yeah, I mean, in the end of the movie, the doll does get shattered. Maybe he rebuilds it slightly different.
Okay, but
Extra padding.
The boy finds extra pieces of porcelain, and he's like, "What do I do with these?"
Either way, it's smoothed out.
So the only way I can think to get the boy to the girl for working as that is if there's a different Hillshire family that've had the same horrific accident.
Oh,
They
you're
have
thinking just a
daughter.
shot-for-shot remake, but it's a girl doll
But,
and a girl in the walls.
And maybe the same babies, the same like nanny.
Yeah.
Who like, I'll try the job again, go to this
Oh,
other house.
Jesus Christ,
Well,
it's
I
another.
was-
She's like,
I
oh
was
fuck.
It's
again.
just the Annabelle doll, but painted slightly different.
She's just like,
No,
fuck.
it's just Brahms in a wig.
It's Brahms in drag.
Yeah, it's just got a marker pen and drawn like longer eyelashes on and two little red cheeks.
I would love for that character to be in it again and just be like, oh fuck, not again. And everyone around is like, what do you mean not again? This is fucking weird. She's like,
But
"Yeah,
I
it
was
happened
thinking,
before."
what I would do is go down the route of obviously he kills this little girl,
Yeah.
and then there's the fire, right?
Yeah.
What if the girl was the run up to that, and actually the reason he goes mad is because actually this girl is tormenting him, and she is evil, and it's actually a sub story about Brahms, and she drives him to murder.
It's Brahms's backstory.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So the
that
boy
makes way more
to-
sense than the doll was haunted.
Yeah,
The
so like
boy
maybe
to-
she is genuinely evil. Maybe maybe he's. It sort of tries to argue that he's not psychotic. He's actually driven to despair and loses his mind because of her, and she wants to do a sort of murder suicide, but actually he escapes, and he was innocent the whole time, but no one believed him, not even his parents.
And he kind of went mad in the walls.
And obviously, I mean, it's not difficult to say. And then he went mad when but yeah, like he was involved in a lot of childhood trauma. Like but like maybe the trigger wasn't that he was evil and he killed her, but
She was
she
the
was
little
evil
shit.
and got him to
Do you
set this
reckon-
fire, and she managed, and he overcame her at the last second, but no one believed him, and that sort of side of it.
You could.
But that's
like,
what I would do. But what would an AI do?
Well, no, I want to develop on that idea because that's quite good. You could have her like little hints to the boy one, in the boy to the girl. Little hints of like she hides in the walls and stuff because she wasn't like his sister. She was
No, they were
a
just
girl
childhood
from town.
friends. Yeah, because
Yeah.
they obviously live on a big English estate.
Yeah,
Which
but that was-
we've already discovered is not in England and is not even remotely English looking.
No,
But yeah, whatever.
Maybe she like torments him as well by like she messes with all of his toys when he's not there, and he thinks that his dolls and that are moving around.
Yeah,
Yeah, maybe she gives him the idea for the haunted doll by making him believe that the doll toy is haunted. Maybe they have one each. So
Like-
she's got her girl doll and then he gets his boy doll, but she makes like stuff happen, and when he's not there and makes him think that the doll is haunted.
yeah. Like he's doing like she's doing terrible.
And then like,
things.
maybe one day he wakes up and like her doll is like stood there with a knife watching him, and like his doll is like on the floor with a pool of blood,
Yeah, where she got
like
the
a
blood
really intense elf on the shelf.
Yeah, and she's just like, because she's a little girl, he always gets the blame.
Yeah,
And like
Yeah.
she makes him develop this sort of pattern of behavior where everyone else starts to think that he's a bad boy.
Yep.
He's a bad kid, and she's
And
a
he
little girl. Like, and actually,
fixates on
like,
the dolls.
it's no, she's doing all of this, but no one believes him because she's cute and innocent and manipulative, whereas he's just a kid.
Especially if the family kick her out and say she's not allowed to come back to the house because he's dangerous, but she's like sneaking in through that back door, that like.
So maybe they're
secret
like, and he
door.
can't, like, she's not
She's
coming
not
back. We're not
allowed
letting her
back.
back, and then she comes back and keeps doing things, and they're like, it's obviously you, Brahms. Like, stop,
Yeah.
misbehaving.
Yeah, she's living in the walls, and
And like maybe she even convinces him that the dolls are alive and it's haunted,
yeah.
only to and that could be the breaking point when he's like convinced that the dolls are haunted, and then she turns up laughing, and he's like, "Fuck
Yeah.
you, burn this place to the ground."
Or maybe he tries to burn the dolls
Yeah,
to get rid of the spirit or whatever. And maybe she ends up getting
like caught in
going
the
up there and getting
walls.
caught, or getting the whatever, and she burns to death with her doll, and he manages to get out. Like, he grabs his doll and gets out.
No, because they bought Brahms after. They bought the doll.
Okay, so maybe his
Brahms.
doll burns.
That's
Yeah.
what makes less
Proto-
sense in the sequel too.
Proto Brahms.
Yeah,
Proto Brahms.
Brom, the car from the
Did-
TV show.
Do the
Yeah.
parents know he's living in the walls in the first one?
I am
Yeah.
positive that they do. That's why
Yeah.
they kill themselves, because they kind of. I think they staged the fire to make it look like he died.
Yeah,
Oh yeah, sorry, he kills the girl, and then there's the fire after. But
Yeah.
It's not. Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, I think he kills her with a hammer or something.
Yeah.
Maybe he
and
thinks.
maybe
Maybe
I
he
don't
thinks
think they
he's
kill.
hitting the doll with a hammer, but it's actually her.
Yeah. 'Cause she's been
Yeah, like
fucking
she's
with
dressed up
him.
in all the clothes to sort of like really try and freak him out, and he attacks her and kills her.
Yeah.
This girl's fucked. She's messed up.
Yeah, but it's a horror film. I think that's kind
Yeah, no, that's fair.
Exactly.
you can't have a little kid
No, that's
and
true.
not have and otherwise it's just very upsetting. They have to be evil.
Yeah, she has to be.
Otherwise,
like,
it's just
evil.
watching a kid go through trauma.
Well, you've written a better prequel, so.
That's so much better than what AI shot out, because AI is bad at writing things creatively.
Yeah, it's almost like it just steals everything else and isn't creative.
Yeah. So
I mean, guys,
intelligent.
that was stolen. That's pretty stolen. I mean,
yeah.
it's that's like, oh, it's a scary doll, but it's not a scary doll. Is the plot of the boy.
The boy.
And also,
yeah, but-
oh, she's an evil girl, but she uses her innocence to like manipulate people. Is like the plot of lots of other horror
Yeah.
movies. With
Yeah,
like
but,
the
you know,
orphan.
everything's been done. It's fine.
Well, yeah, exactly, and that's. But yeah, so that's what I would do. If I was going to do a boy sequel, and I'd call it The Girl,
The boy to the girl.
The Boy to the Girl,
Or
Brahms and Brahmetta, The Boy
The Girl.
to.
the girl. It would be the girl, whatever the girl's name is. The boy to. So AI came up with the boy unveiling shadows. Guess what the AI threw out as like the most strange, quite dull sounding film.
Is it?
Don't make
Let's
much
see
sense.
what really happened here. Oh, it was explained in the first movie.
Pretty much, yeah.
Of
So-
course.
The story that the AI threw out is a journalist, Sarah, goes to the Hillshire mansion, is obsessed with it, and she wants to know what happened to the family and like what the fire was and the kid. And assumedly, in this universe, the baby said that like the nanny told her story and no one believed her because
I mean, I'd guess so, because not many people would believe, oh my god, there was a crazy guy in the walls and he's who actually killed my abusive ex-boyfriend.
his body would still be in the house.
Yeah.
Like it's not that hard to prove. This journalist goes back to the house and like starts uncovering stuff. Uncovers that it wasn't an actual fire, that the son had killed someone. It wasn't a possessed doll, was in fact a member of the family, the child, the boy. But she delves deeper into the Hillshire family and discovers that they have a horrific pattern of abuse and manipulation, which led to the boy That was from our sequel, The Boy to the Girl.
Yeah.
Um,
It stole our writing before we even said it.
Yeah. But she's like, yeah, the story is essentially then she finds all these journalists and like wants to reveal them to the truth, but there are like other members of the Hillshire family trying to stop her. And that's kind of how the film climaxes, is she has to fight off these other Hillshire family members.
Oh, the Brahms is.
It's not good. Like, it's just like...
There's
In
just
a
lots
gripping-
of feminists just called the boys.
That's it.
In a gripping climax, Sarah, a scary name, Sarah,
Yeah,
confronts the
terrifying.
surviving members of the Hillshire family, forcing them to confront the consequences of their actions. She exposes their horrifying secrets to the world, shedding light on the psychological abuse inflicted upon Brahms and the caretakers who fell under the family's control.
Not gonna lie, doesn't sound like a horror movie.
Doesn't sound
it
good.
sounds like a drama.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's sort of more
Thriller
like
at best.
true crime pod.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thriller at best. I don't think you can do a good sequel to The Boy. I don't think you can do any sequel to The Boy.
No, I think it's
Just
fine.
let it
Leave it as it
die.
is. It didn't deserve one.
Because
It
it's
didn't-
not an evil spirit, it's literally saying, no, it's just this boy in the walls.
Yeah,
And there's
and they
nothing
killed
supernatural
off the
going on.
boy.
That in itself is like, well, then you can't, because he dies at the end.
Yeah.
Spoilers.
He doesn't really.
He
Well,
does.
yeah, but then what happens? Oh, what do we have, like City Brahms, where he goes and like, tries to squeeze into
Yeah, I
the walls
guess-
of a new build?
I guess he stays in the walls for a bit and glues the doll back together, and then 5 minutes after that, the police come because the babysitter's like, "There's a fucking guy in the walls,"
Right.
And they just shoot him.
Right?
Yeah,
I mean, this isn't
Yeah.
it isn't set in America, despite all architecture pointing
Oh,
to
lies.
it definitely being set in America. But I was just thinking, yeah, you try and get in the walls of a new build where it's like you've got 1-inch plasterboard between rooms.
There's
Or,
someone living in the walls.
like a
How do you
seagull,
know?
He gets stuck in the chimney.
Yeah. Or, he moves into a 60s high rise and it's like, oh shit, asbestositis.
Yeah.
Oh,
He just dies of asbestos after a while. That's the movie.
The bit that doesn't... The only way that I can think you could make like an actual sequel is if Brahms was discovered alive and like taken to a facility.
Yeah.
Oh, so kind of like an Interview with Hannibal kind of thing.
Yeah.
He's just like wheeled in to solve murders like Hannibal, but he's wearing that fucking doll mask.
Like, that's the only way that I think you could continue the story is having him still be alive but be somewhere. I assume you'd have the babysitter back to be like confront her demons.
Yeah.
Her demons being this particular man who likes to dress up as a doll.
Yeah, I guess the only other because the title is The Boy and not Dumb Babysitter Nearly Dies in Idiot Accident.
It's a much worse. Like, the
So
boy
that
isn't
sounds more like a YouTube video title.
gone wrong.
Yeah, yeah.
In brackets, 4K.
And The Babysitter is already a much better film.
Yep.
Because it's like the focus is on the boy and the doll. You can't have a sequel that
The
was
doll's
about
gone.
the babysitter rather than anything to do with Brahms would feel very strange.
Yeah, the doll's gone.
It's like it's like the opposite of The Conjuring, because The Conjuring it's like the Warrens are like the connection.
Yeah, they're sort of the through.
So it can be any demon or any kind of
Anything
evil.
they've
It
dealt
doesn't when they move around.
I mean, the sort of Hannibal idea might work for if it was kind of mixing that with the girl to the boy, but it's like
The boy to the girl.
babysitter's hurt, like trying to investigate other things like this, and then it is like a Hannibal kind of thing, and she's going to Brahms to find out like more information from him because
And they find that he's just trying to wedge himself into the padded cell, and like he's just getting in between the cushion and
I've got
the
it.
wall.
I've got it. She babysitter goes to the hospital that Brahms is in, and he's there for a little bit, And then at some point the doctors come back and it's the doll in the chair and not Brahms.
Oh,
And they're like,
he's in the hospital somewhere. Where
they're
is
like, shit, where'd he go? And she's like, I know, he's in the walls.
He's just climbing through the vents like in Die Hard.
Fully in the walls.
Oh, boy,
man.
in the walls, now you're talking my language.
She's like, fuck, not again. He's just up there in the walls.
That sounds. I mean, that sounds good because it would be so surprising. Expecting to have like this winding, like The Boy takes place over like quite a few weeks,
Yeah.
whereas this is like immediate.
This
sort
is
of
a day.
bottle episode kind of. It takes
Yeah,
place
yeah.
only in this psychiatric hospital.
Yeah, one of the doctors is like, get the broom.
Yeah. And
They
it's like
find out-
obviously the challenge is that they've got no weapons because it's a sealed psychiatric
Yeah.
unit, so they can't protect themselves. And
but
it's
they have to
like,
go- there's like
yeah,
he's like dug a hole in the wall to get into the in between the walls, and they like got a broom up there and they're hitting him as he's crawling away.
Guys, I think you just reinvented Gothica.
Oh man, she's just like, fuck, he's in the walls. Although they could just like get everyone to leave and call the police, that's far less scary.
Yeah.
Unless like he somehow manages to cut. Okay, so they come
yeah.
back.
Obviously, he has to cut the cables,
Yeah.
and he was maybe then they discover like in his secret diary in his room or whatever that he had this plan, this elaborate plan to like escape and kill her.
No,
Yeah.
I like to
But
think he was
instead,
just
he's now that we're basically because she's come to visit him, he's
Yeah.
decided to lock. He's decided instead of escaping, he's going to lock everyone in the hospital and try and kill her.
Yeah,
No,
he
I like
he
to
got
think-
away with having the doll in the chair because he unhooked the equipment and then hid in the walls, and he's just going beep, beep, beep.
I
Like-
like to think he didn't do it deliberately. He's climbing through the walls and just snagged on some wires and like completely shut down the whole hospital.
So I was messing about the other day, making a silly little video to send my friend to cheer them up, and because I work in healthcare, I have quite a lot of health equipment at home, and I have a toy cat that I've had since I was a baby. I'm not getting rid of him; he's part of the family. And I put the finger oxygen and pulse reader on his paw, and it took a reading.
Oh fuck no! That
And I
cat's
was
gone.
just like, yeah, that must be broken, right?
No, cat's gone.
Right?
No, what the thing is, you've actually got a real cat living in your walls.
You've been Brahmsed by a cat.
I've been Brahms, yeah, by my little tabby. Oh, I mean that's a problem. We've got pet rats. Like we might
Yeah.
need to
Also,
look into this.
like you do not
But
want a cat.
about a cat in the walls, but that would just remind me of that scene in
It's by Eight-Legged Freaks.
the
Eight-Legged
giant
Freaks.
spiders, eight-legged freaks.
Oh yeah,
With the cats in the plaster.
That's great.
I'm just thinking of the episode of Always Sunny.
You don't want a cat in the walls. It's terrible. They just get stuck.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, no, we had to get the cat out from behind the
It's
tumble dry quite a few times growing up.
that's more like the boy in the hospital and not the boy the first film. It's just
Hmm.
irritating and like you kind of have to get him out as quick as
Yeah,
possible.
it's like for health and safety reasons, you can't be in the walls.
just
He's
scurrying
just
away
wedged in a
from them.
laundry chute.
Just scurrying away from them. How does he move so quickly? That's his territory. That's what he likes. So you can't make a sequel to The Boy. Make a good prequel. You can make a bad sequel. You can't make
Yeah.
a good sequel to The Boy.
Well, it has a hard ending.
Yeah,
It doesn't do the traditional horror movie thing of and a sequel where like they open their eyes or the doll like
Yeah, it
sits up at
ends
the
with,
end or whatever.
It ends with Brahms gluing the doll back together, which I imagine took a while because that thing shattered.
like everywhere as well. And like
Yeah.
he came through a mirror, so there's even like more glass everywhere. He got
It's just Brahms but shiny.
So many little cuts on his hand.
Oh, like they mixed up the bits of porcelain and the bits of broken mirror, and it's like
Yeah.
some of now he's a crossover with Twilight, and in the sun he's kind of sparkly.
Yeah.
You've got a shiny doll and a mirror with a face.
Awful.
Well, that is horrific.
Absolutely awful. I liked it. I like the idea that he put the mirror back together.
Yeah. Yeah, nothing
Finish
else.
the
to
Yeah,
do.
otherwise it's bad luck.
Yeah.
And just the doll kind of sat there and went, well, I guess I'm putting the mirror back. Yeah, no, you can't do a good sequel. Too hard of an ending.
Yeah.
AI spit out a shit one.
I mean, we say it spit out a shit one. Still better than the actual film.
No,
they
it
made.
is still
Yeah,
better
that's
than
not difficult.
Brahms
Still
the Boy
100
2.
times better. Don't watch The Boy 2. It's
No.
not worth
Don't
it.
do it. Not even like for a funny gag. It's just not good.
No,
The
like,
first
it
one?
it was only
We had
seemed
a good
entertaining
time
to us 'cause
watching
we were
it
like,
because we were shitting on it.
Yeah.
yeah,
but-
I think we spent about 10 minutes riffing about him, but like, I want some soup.
Oh,
Please.
dumb. Yeah. First one, good fun to watch and shit on. Second one, it's not even worth that, really.
Yeah, it wasn't even an entertainingly bad horror movie. It was just a bad movie.
It's just dull. It was just bad. Anyway,
Well-
that was
That's episode 1 of As Yet to Be Named.
AI tells us a story.
A new sequel.
AI loved that movie.
AI loves that movie. That's it. We've got the name. We've got the name.
How
I'm
did
gonna
it take this long for us to get to that?
It was right there the whole time.
Oh,
Yeah,
anyway.
I think we might do more of these as like Patreon episodes every
Yeah.
so often to like maybe movies we've done actually on the podcast.
Maybe. Or maybe just shit films we watch. Let us know, actually. If you have any
Yeah.
films that you want us to do shit sequels to,
Yeah.
let us know. And we will AI that sequel up and then fucking make a better one.
Yeah.
I've been Michael.
I've been.
Oh no, okay, you're good.
Well, I got such grief last time.
Sorry.
I've been Helena.
Have I got to do the normal
Yes.
outro bit now?
No,
Okay.
do your
No,
Did
you
you
don't have
say-
to do the normal outro bit. You just have to say your name.
yeah.
Oh, I've been Dan.
This is a mess. You can find us on all social medias, Twitter, Instagram. Those are all of them.
Yeah.
is
Say hi
at-
on Discord as well.
on
Especially if you
Discord.
want to, tell us about a movie you'd like us to do. You can email us at
I think hiltmpod@gmail.com.
that one too. But you can also
Yeah.
follow us on at Hilton Pod. That's HILTM Pod. We tweet every now and then. And we have a lot of fun. You can also follow us individually through through the podcast Twitter. We're entertaining sometimes.
yes. You can
we
find me
also-
at Helena K Heath on all good platforms
Yep.
and the bad ones.
The shit ones like Twitter. You can find me at Dears Mike on pretty much everything.
Yeah, and I'm at the Dan Faulkner.
God, we have creative names.
Yeah.
I mean, I
Uh,
need to change mine, but yeah, I won't. I guess.
I mean, you changed all of yours and then got married shortly after. So.
Yeah, well, I made them all. This is not good. This is not good for a podcast discussion. I made them all the same thing, and then
got
I
married.
haven't actually legally changed my name, but
Um,
I will at some point.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
if you're listening to us on the Patreon, thanks for supporting.
Yes,
It
we love you.
actually helps us quite a lot. It is really great and useful. And we do, when you do put suggestions in, we do add them to the list, and we do want to start getting to them a lot more.
And if they're bad, we will come for you.
Yeah, we will. Oh, we're hostile.
We'll come to you, we'll hide in your walls.
I will get in your walls and make you look after a doll.